I am aka Queen Sabrina, and I am the founder of Queen Carriage Horse Rides, which was developed out of a love and passion for horses. And it's pretty much a family owned business, and we incorporate therapy utilizing horses. I'm also the co founder of Detroit Equestrian Play Therapy, along with Chief Greyhawk, who's the co-founder of Detroit Equestrian Play Therapy. So today we are here. It happens to be my birthday, and we are here just pretty much observing the work I've been doing with King Solomon, who is now a whopping 9 months. So Solomon was born here. He was born.
Hey everyone, this is Charles, host of the Detroit Metro Plug podcast, where connections matter. Each week, we bring you interviews of what we call Detroit difference makers in the area of community involvement as well as entrepreneurship. And we have a special guest on this special episode, pop up episode. I'm excited about our topic and our guest for today. I'm going to kind of give a formal introduction of our guest. I'm going to read a little bit bio. She's going to introduce herself and talk a little bit about what she does and just the topic of this episode and how it relates to Black History Month. So, to my left, to your right, I have very special guest. Yeah, Sabrina Cesare. I want to make sure I get that right. She is a licensed clinical social worker, state of Michigan, uh, who has been in the field of social work for over 22 years. She's earned her bachelor's and master's degree from Stony Brook University in Long Island, New York, and she has a passion for working with people and horses. Um, it is this combination that demonstrates her unique gift of working with people, uh, her unique gift to genuinely connect with people. Sabrina's love for others began with her visiting and volunteering at the stables in Central Park. Her love for learning and furthering her education includes her receiving her certificate from the Michigan Psychoanalytic Institute, and is also trained in trauma-focused cognitive behavioral therapy, and is highly experienced in working with individuals suffering from persistent mental illness, uh, as it relates to depression, chemical dependence. Her work in the community and mental health sectors ranges uh, from the year 2000 to the present. Um, what I'm excited about in this episode interview is that she has a special skill set, how she uses horses in a therapeutic process. And so, just for our guests, if someone was to ask you, just kind of introduce her to our audience, who is Sabrina? What would you tell
Who is Sabrina? Thank you, Charles, for inviting me to be a guest here. So Sabrina is a hardworking, passionate, caring, and dedicated individual. Also known as Queen Sabrina, I inherited that title after pretty much my godmother died of COVID, and I was known to the community as Queen. So I, through that title and hard work and work experience with working with people and animals, specifically horses, came about the culmination of Queen Carriage Horse Rides. So Queen Carriage Horse Rides was birthed about a year ago. Horses have always been in my life from a young age, just in terms of whether not so much riding, but just a passionate love for them. And I also had a specific love for Little House on the Prairie. So I always envisioned myself like with a horse and a carriage, and it didn't come into fruition until in my adult years of life. So pre-pandemic, teenage years, we can go back. I struggled with self-esteem, self-confidence, depression, anxiety, and I suffered in silence, and that was what's concerning. And it got so deep to the point where at 16, I attempted suicide and tried to take my life via overdose on pills. Actually, they were my mother pills. But anyway, that just shows how, when you don't have anyone to talk to and your culture puts down and demeans the idea of getting counseling, getting help, or considering you to be weak if you even asked for help when it came to mental health. There was just no one to turn to. So I was always able to turn to the animals, even though, back then, and I was born and raised in Brooklyn, New York. So back then we had stables in Central Park. So I would just sit there because even though there was no exchange of communication, I felt a connection. Like I can talk to them. There's no judgment. They didn't care about how I looked. They didn't care about my size, my color, my complexion, all the different things that I got bullied for. That didn't matter. So, when I think back about what I've been through in life and how I have been able to overcome it, I must say that I stand on the shoulders of my Haitian ancestors. First off, I am not just Queen Sabrina, I am a Haitian woman, okay?
Okay.
Haiti is in my soul. My parents were born and raised there. I've been there several times, including doing missionary work there.
Okay.
And so when I think about my challenges, struggles, trials, and tribulations, many, many, many times I ask God, why did you put me in this situation? Why did you put me on this earth? Why did you pick me to do this assignment? This is too difficult. You made a mistake when you downloaded this file. I talk about this file. And, what came to me was, no, I picked the right person. I picked the perfect person. The one thing in life I learned about myself is I hate to fail. I hate to fail. And, of course, I've had failures in life, but I go down fighting. So my dad always told me, if you can look up, you can get up. And you have to learn how to pull yourself up by your bootstraps. So in this journey of life, I found that my gift and my love language is helping others. I love to serve. So I serve my community. I serve my family. And I found this gift where when I first purchased my horse, it wasn't just, of course, there was like negative and discerning comments of, oh, why would you want to do that? You can't afford it. You think you can handle a horse? What are you going to do with it? Well, what are you doing with yours? But I knew that I wanted to do more than just, get the horse and just go riding and parade around and brag about having a horse. I wanted to do more. And when I found the love and passion that came from it, I wanted to share that with others.
Right now I'm transferring Solomon. Awesome. So usually I have on a stud chain. I didn't put it on because I was told that he needs to learn how to transfer and move around without a stud chain. But I will show you what it looks like, and it just gives better control. I'm actually in a good position now because he's not taking off. So like I said before, usually I would get dragged from the stall to this pasture. So What a good boy. All right, come on. Easy. Good boy. Okay, 1 second. Let me take this off. Free the African. Go ahead. You can go. Go ahead.
So, hence Detroit Equestrian Play Therapy, which I am the co-founder, and Chief Greyhawk is the co-founder of that organization. We came together and developed it. And what we do is we trail our horses to the city. We teach a summer camp. We do parties, carnivals, parades. And we have impacted over 1,300 young lives. So youth have had the opportunity to have hands-on experience with a horse, to get on a horse, horsemanship. There's so much that they have learned, and most importantly, have been able to overcome fear. When I think about fears, I think about drowning in anxiety, depression during the pandemic. It was so debilitating that I couldn't leave my house because we all had the fear of God in us. And so I was also on the verge of losing my job because when I had to go back to the hospital, I would get to the door and I have a panic attack. And I was like, I'm in trouble. I can't afford to lose my job. So I went back to the horses, and they're such a large, and they can be an intimidating type animal. And I personally happen to have Pertrons, which are double the size of our regular size horse. And I said, wait a minute, if I can handle and manage this horse and drive it, then I should be able to drive myself in my future.
So typically what I use in grooming Solomon is we brush first. I have the curry comb somewhere here. That pretty much takes off the dirt and grut. And this is kind of, it mimics a curry comb. So this is what we use after we give him a bath. And it just kind of helps take off all that excess water off of him. But I've been using it when he comes in from the pasture because he's usually bathed in mud. So that's what we use this for.
And push myself to be able to do what I need to do. I can't just lock myself in the house for the rest of my life and never go back to work. So my goal during the pandemic was to overcome my personal fears. I had a fear of heights. I learned how to fly a plane. So I was continue to do so, work on my private pilot license. I had a fear of these big breed horses. I have 3 of them. The most beautiful gift that happened May 11th, 2023, was the birth of King Solomon. So he is, you'll see in the video, the youngest member of our family. He was born, pretty much in my hands. And you'll get to see our interaction and just the work I've been doing with him. And I must say, at 9 months old, he has accomplished so much. I can't be more happier with his progress. So,
move over. Back. No. Round window. Move over. Move over. Okay. Okay. Stay. All right. Yeah. So basically, I'm letting him smell, but he's gonna try to eat his saddle pad. This will let him know that this is something that goes on his back. Okay. Good boy. Right now he has his saddle pad on. Okay, put that on. Thank you. The front horn part will go up and over. Okay. Good boy. What a good boy. So, just put a saddle pad and saddle on Mr. Solomon. I'm not going to put it on too tight. Okay, so again, we did successfully manage to put a saddle on him. I haven't attempted to put the bridle yet, only because his teeth are still growing. Whoa, his teeth are still growing, and so he will get introduced to a bridle. The reason I put the saddle pad on him now as well is because pretty soon it won't fit. He would have graduated to a draft horse saddle. So again, with the draft horse, they drive wagons, cart, they do forestry, logging, driving. They're work horses. That's typically what they're used for. And of course, some people use them for pleasure, riding, and things of that nature. So Solomon will, as mentioned before, will be broke to ride and drive. And so like right now, his bridle, this is, halter, I'm sorry. His halter is for an average sized horse. But when he was a foal, where did it go? This is actually, believe it or not, he fit into this.
The Queen Sabrina is someone that takes on challenges and overcomes them.
Wow, great. You said a lot in your introduction. I appreciate that. Just to kind of give an idea, your passion, your purpose, and what led you to the work you're doing today. I want to talk specifically because I know our viewing audience may not, there's a lot of people in the Detroit area who may not have experience at being at a horse camp or even doing horseback riding. I'm curious, how did you? I know you touched on it a little bit. Tell our audience how did you become, have a desire or have a love for working with horses, and what sparked that curiosity?
So first off, I just want to acknowledge that the work started with volunteer work. I
Okay.
volunteered at the Buffalo Soldiers. As a matter of fact, the president, Mr. Mills, he taught me how to tie my first knot. And so, before just making an impulsive decision of, oh yeah, that's so cute, I want a horse for a pet, I'm just going to go out and buy one. It didn't happen like that. I worked at various farms for a couple of years because I wanted to know what it entails, how to handle them, how much it costs. It was thought out. And what that life entails, working on a farm, going back again. The love and interest started as a child, but then it was abandoned because growing up, I
Oh,
couldn't really just tell my mom, "Hey, I want to be a cowgirl." That was just absolutely unheard of.
right, right,
Um, you know, my mom had goals for us, and our
right,
and her goals for us was to bring her a couple of degrees.
right,
So, in
right.
honoring her and honoring her wishes, that's what I did.
Okay,
And so the true interest came about as in my adulthood years when
okay.
I found that
Adulthood.
I was decompensating in my mental health. And
Oh,
again, as a professional and as a licensed social worker, sometimes you really don't have anyone to turn to. I mean, yes, I can go talk to another therapist, but our job is to help others. Our job
okay.
is to save lives. Our job is to uplift and motivate others. And sometimes when you're doing that work,
Yes.
you get lost in the process. And
Okay.
so I found that I started to struggle with my own mental health, and I did go out and seek a therapist. At one point I was on medication, but that wasn't the life that I wanted to live for myself for the rest of my life. Hence, the horses were always there. And I found that every time, when I got off work and I went to the farm and I was working with them, grooming them, walking them, it began to feel therapeutic. I felt a connection. And I was
Mm,
like, wow, I'm beginning to feel better. I feel motivated to get out of the bed, to get out of the house, to move. Because it's a different type of experience. They, especially once they become domesticated, they rely on us for care, and it kind of took off from there.
wow, wow. I like what you shared. You had the interest when you was a child, and it was abandoned because we want to please our parents and pursue education. But you went through some episodes in life that caused some mental health challenges, and then you found this new spark with the horses, and it actually helped you in your path to therapy. Now, I know we talked earlier off camera that specific type of therapy. Could you mind explaining to our audience your expertise and how horse care can relate to therapy, and what's that all about?
So, again, I'm a licensed clinical social worker as well as a certified advanced addiction counselor. Um, so the type of therapy that would encompass utilizing horses is called equine assisted therapy, psychotherapy. Usually that's done with a person with a license and a certification. So we provide supportive therapy. So the children that come to the farm, we provide horsemanship education. Everything is hands on. Let's start there. So that is part of the therapeutic process. So they learn to engage first through team building, self confidence, and different activities that include the horse. And so the horse and I must say, our horses are well trained. Even a 2, 3 year old can walk them. So in the camp, the horse serves as a co-therapist. So you have handlers, you have two professional trainers that is on our team that work with us, and the children receive guidance in handling the horse and just managing themselves and whatever mental challenges that they may be experiencing at the time.
Okay, that's awesome. So, if someone's interested in seeking this kind of therapy, Who was the therapy best fitted for?
So, psychotherapy or supportive therapy is beneficial and helpful to anyone from
Okay.
2 years old to 90 years old.
Okay.
Now, when we talk about including the horse, again, that involves working with professional staff and super strict supervision.
Hmm.
And so we're working on getting something together at the farm. But for now, we're doing camps and group sessions. So if you are a school or a church or an organization that would like to utilize our services, we are more than happy to bring ourselves and the horses out. So it's really open to all.
Okay. Now I want to get more specifically on the stuff that you provide with your services, and I'm going to share. We can share this website with our audience here. Okay, so tell us a little bit about your services that you provide for. Um,
So we have Queen Carriage Horse Rides, which that Queen Carriage Horse Rides provides wagon rides and as well as horsemanship education to individuals or groups that are interested in those services. So the horses that are used for within Queen Carriage Horse Rides are the bigger horses, which are the draft horses. And right now, I'm in the process of training King Solomon. So there's different features of that. And again, I've actually never thought this is what I would be doing, primarily because they are such bigger horses, and there's dangers involved, just like anything else. But handling an animal of that magnitude, increases the possibilities of dangers. And I have not been training all my life. This is the first animal I'm training. It's because he's mine, and I want him to. It's important that he is roped to ride and drive, and it also costs. But going back to the services, I'm working in between two organizations. Queen Carriage Horse Ride is the family organization, and then we also have Detroit Equestrian Play Therapy. Again, that encompasses two co-founders, which is myself and Chief Greyhawk, and Detroit Equestrian Play Therapy renders services to the community, children as well as adults, and that's where we run our camp through, and services as far as different events where what makes us unique is that we trailer and bring the horses to you, and then you get to have those hands-on experiences and be engaged in equine related activities.
Okay. What's the best way people can get in contact with you?
So for now, they're more than welcome to send us an email, obviously 24/7. You can email me at Queen Carriage Horse Rides at yahoo.com, or you get our phone numbers on there too. What's the number, child?
Oh,
Well, yes, you can feel free to reach me at 313-461-2482. So we are available via text or email. And you're more than happy to visit the website and send us a message, and we will reply within 48 hours.
now we talked a little bit off camera. We had a chance to go to the barn, which has almost 20 stables. We were able to see you with King Solomon. Tell us a little bit of specific things about the uniqueness of that horse.
There's a lot. So King Solomon, I believe, is like a gift from God because, like I said, so his mom, when I got my mares, one of them was with foal. So I knew I'd be expecting a foal. And, he was born May 11th. And usually you don't start the rigorous training process with these horses until they're 2-3. However, it's also imperative, no different than a child, you start training them early. Solomon was born at 125 pounds. When he was born, I was messing and working with him a couple of days right after birth. And when I say working with him, I'm talking about handling his hooves, walking him, My hand is in his ears, his eyes, putting on and taking off a halter, teaching him to lead. So, I mean, not that I was treating him like a puppy, but I wanted him to know that he can have that self confidence to trust me, and that I need him to have I need to be able to manage him and handle him, not just at 125 pounds, but like today at 1,000 pounds. So Charles had the opportunity to watch me work with King Solomon. And it's just amazing in 9 months how big he's gotten. But he's, again, a draft horse. He's part of the draft horse family. He is a Pertron colt, and he's coming along really well. He was introduced to a saddle today. I was cleaning him with spray, so he was introduced to a spray bottle. Now, when I transfer him from the stall to the pasture, Charles got to witness that. I used to get dragged because he would get so excited and be like, "Oh my God, I'm outside, yay!" and just take off. And so, I'm teaching him, you're going to have to lead. And my goal for him is to learn 4 words, at least before one, which is whoa, not G yet, but whoa, easy, back up. And, he's responding very, very well. Again, he's recently had farrier care 2 times. And the farrier was like, she was very impressed because I've been messing with Solomon's feet since he came out. So even today when we did our interview, I was able to pick up his foot, which is triple the size than when he was born. But he allowed me to do it with no resistance.
That's great. That's great. Now, you mentioned how your work is tied to Black History Month as it relates to caring for horses. You mind sharing with our audience a little about that?
Yeah, when we think about Black History Month and horses and horsemen and cowboys and cowgirls, we are the original. And even when you go back to slavery, the jockeys were the ones, and the slaves rather, were the ones who were taking care, grooming, caring, training, breaking these horses. And then the jockeys would go out and race these horses and make their slave masters a significant amount of money. But at that time, they didn't see color as far as the slave being black, but they saw green. So it was a different type of respect and connection. So there's so many horsemen. I got to visit the Kentucky Horse Park and just to learn about the history. They also recently implemented a black museum of black horsemen that have died during slave era. But we played a pivotal role, so it's important and it's imperative that we acknowledge them and uplift them and really continue the legacy. Many things have been stripped away from us and taken away, however means. But we're bringing it back. I don't feel that legacy is dead. People are like, "Oh, for what? What do you want to do that for? Nobody cares." Yes, they do care. They care. I care, and I'm not stopping until I accomplish all these goals. And I'm thankful to stand in the presence of these elders. I'm in the presence of 200 years of history because each of one of my mentors have been involved with horses for 50 plus years. And they are the ones that pour into me. They are the ones that have faith in me. They are the ones that uplift me. And they are the ones that tell me I can do it, even when I think and tell myself, "Ooh, I can't do this too much." But I still get up and I show up and show out.
Awesome, awesome. Any upcoming events or things you want to share with our audience uh,
Yes.
that you got planned?
So, with respect to Detroit Equestrian Play Therapy, we will be launching our summer camp this summer, starting in July. Age range is 6 and out, between 6 and 15. And Queen Carriage Horse Ride will be available for wagon rides. And horses will be present at the July 4th African Unity Picnic, which takes place at Eliza Howell Park in Detroit, and that is on July 4th. And we have multiple other events that will be showcased on our website. So feel free to visit our website so you can keep up with what we have going on. And as a FYI, we will also be at the African American Charles H. Wright Museum on Juneteenth. That you don't want to miss. It was a winner and a hit last year where we were asked to come back. We will be there. So please come out, bring the kids, bring the family, bring your grandpa, uncle, mama, stepsister, stepdaddy, bring them all.
Tell us more about the Juneteenth event. What's that all entail?
So what that entails is every year, the Charles A. Frank Museum have these huge festivities in celebration of Juneteenth. So they will have a multitude of artists and activities to engage in. Last year we did participate and we brought out the horses, and I believe we serviced at least 300,
Okay.
300 children. So it's an outdoor event, of course, and it's an outdoor event, and all are welcome.
All right, all right. So, what's any closing remarks you'd like to give to our audience as we wrap things up?
Oh, so my closing remarks to you is, dream big and go after your dreams. You wouldn't want to exit this world without knowing what your purpose is, or not fulfilling your own happiness. You're not going to be able to please everyone else. But when you find that true happiness, because speaking from experience, I can't say that I was truly, truly happy for a long time. And I didn't even notice it. I was just kind of going through the motions. But now, as I stand firm in my life with what I'm doing, and regardless of what other people think, or if I'm not doing a good enough job, I tell myself I'm good enough. So know that you are good enough just as you are. You are how God created you. Pick up that torch, take it, and go for it.
All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we're thankful for our guest, Queen Sabrina. Be sure to give that website out again.
We have Queen Carriage Horse Rides at yahoo.com, and you could also find information at Detroit Equestrian Play Therapy at gmail.com.
All right. Let's make sure we support definitely different ways to deal with depression, anxiety, and you never know. Maybe the play horse therapy could be for you. So thanks again for tuning into this episode. If you find value in what we're doing, each week we're bringing you difference makers in the Detroit area, unique individuals who are depositing and impacting our area in a positive way, unique contributions. So I want to encourage you to like, follow, subscribe, share with people so you can hear these unique stories and the things they're doing in our community. Thanks again for tuning into this episode, and we'll see you next time.
So here we are in the barn, and we have Miss Jeannie. Hello, say hello. Jeannie, owner, passed away. So the person taking care of her right now, he's had her for many, many years. So she's well cared for and tended to. This young boy right here, this is Mr. King Solomon. He's actually technically a baby. He's only 9 months. But at 9 months, when he comes out, you'll see a full view of his full body. Looks like you ate all your food. At 9 months, he's the size of a regular size horse. So again, he weighs like embarking really close to 1,000 pounds. King Solomon is a colt. His name, he's black in color. His mom is actually gray. So if you were to see her, it looks white, but she's full gray. And his dad was all black, so he took after his dad, hence making him a black colt. So I will be letting him out momentarily. We're just gonna kind of walk through the barn. On the other side is some other horses. That's for the owner here. Hey buddy, I'll be right back. Just be patient. And this used to house about 50 horses. The gentleman that owns this place, he is older in age, so several horses have, relocated, moved away, and one by one, even his are dying. However, his horses live to 38 and up. Typical lifespan of a horse is 30, 35. His are well cared for, so they live a long time. So what he has taught me is good nutrition, good health care, good vaccination practices, and of course TLC, extends the life of a horse as it would a human being. So there's plenty of work to do. We are working on a crew to get things together. So, it's a work in progress. The owner of this bar, he is embarking on 80 years old. So it's so important that we get young people engaged in horsemanship, in horses in general, and just kind of learning to do the work that accompanies it. So it's not about, oh yeah, let me come pick up the horse and just go ride the heck out of him and then throw him back in the stall. It doesn't work like that. I'm out here with my children a couple days a week. We got to clean out the stall, we got to walk Solomon, we got to transfer, we got to feed. So regardless of if it's -1, raining, sleet, snow, we're out here because they have to eat. And I just happen to be a hands-on person. So when you're raising a child, you're not just putting them aside and going to visit them every now and then. It's a 24-hour job. So although he needs 24-hour care, I come around at least every other day and, turning him out or working on a specific task with him. And again, I can say that, he's progressing very well. So back there is the pasture. We're not going to go all the way back there, but watch your feet. Like I said, there's all types of stuff. So when we turn horses out, they come out here and they run around. We have a horse over there. He is a stud. That's why he's so long. His name is Ambition. He's probably in his area. So for the purposes of just not making a bunch of baby horses, studs are typically separated unless you're breeding. And so, unfortunately, that creates an isolative life because they always have to be separated.